starting off with a little softer intro this week because I realized the intro has been blasting in people's ears. I was listening back to one of the podcasts and I was just like, oh my God, is that how the intro starts every week? Y'all never say anything, which I appreciate that you're patient and not a bunch of whiny babies, but also hot damn your eardrums.
Would it sound like that to us or just the people listening afterwards?
It doesn't sound like that to us, but on the outside, It seems like it sounds really loud.
Sounds like what?
Say what?
Sounds like what?
It sounds like danger when we in the house. What's up, everybody?
Danger! What's up?
Okay, now we just
get on the floor.
Fantastic Cypher.
You guys were about to say Mystikal, really?
The fact that you know that it's Mystikal gives you 30 black points.
I just said I was just like points. All right, buddy.
Good job, Dave.
Hey, Dave, I don't know why they still underestimate you, bro. It's not
about underestimating. It's just that that's a deep dive to know.
Yeah, slightly deeper. I feel
if you know what's it called, the popular Mystikal song, "Shake Your Ass but Wash Yourself." You know what I mean? But
interesting. You feel "Shake Your Ass" is more popular than "Danger"?
Yeah.
Danger became popular over time, not when it came out.
Yeah. Look at him with the breakdown.
Okay, calm down.
Yeah.
He hits a 3 and he's just like,
yeah, right?
It's like crossing over on us.
Steph Curry today, you just pull it up and
one ego boost, and this guy is to the moon. Straight rocket launch.
Remember when I used to bug him and he'd be like, "Brian, you're being so nice." I'm like, "Yeah, we can't let your ego get too big because then you get around here." Look at what we did. This motherfucker over here is celebrating.
Give a motherfucker a Batman episode. This would happen.
I take back my underestimation comment, Dave. You gotta bring it down a peg over
Go
here.
for it. That's fine. It's fine because you can't take it back. It's just like one time Brian was like, "Oh, you're showing your guns." I'm like, "So you're saying I have guns?" And he's like, "Damn it."
Never give him a compliment, folks.
Once you say it once, it's in the ether.
Mans came through with a wild mystical analytics. Look at that. Amazing.
Guys, we start off with the laughs because unfortunately this is a sad opening to start with this week, but we definitely felt like we wanted to talk about it because for all wrestling fans here from that era, we want to say RIP to Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon from WWE, WWF back in the day. He unfortunately, with the toothpick. Man, he started out a long time ago. He was a solid wrestler. He was loved by the fans. He was one of the best staying in characters I've ever seen. Like when I think back to wrestling, like Hulk Hogan was just playing like Hulk Hogan. Macho Man was playing this heightened version of a like 80s bodybuilder, like
on cocaine.
Yeah. Ultimate Warrior, all of them. In that era, the characters they were playing felt simple, but like Razor Ramon was like this Cuban, the bad guy, and it was like this very specific character that he stayed in all the time.
It was very Scarface-esque, but not
Tony
really.
Montana.
It was like I mean, he took the whole "say hello to my little friend" where he says like "say hello to the bad guy." Bad times. What was the saying? Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
It's hard work pays off.
Dreams come true.
What you just said.
Good times don't last, but
bad times don't last, but bad guys.
Bad guys do. That's a hard quote to quote.
It's a hard quote
because he freestyled that shit. No one saw that coming at the end of his speech. He did he did his Hall of Fame speech, and it was like, your typical speech, and then man just drops a 3 type quote at the end. You're just like, whoa.
That was his mic drop. He walked away. You're like, wow.
He must have rehearsed that, though. I'm not gonna lie. It seemed a little too perfect. No. It's great. It's a great quote. I love it. I love the quote.
But so we lost him. We lost him, unfortunately. Health issues that led to coronary incident, as some of you may know. Heart attack for those who want to hear the layman.
Yeah.
But it's sad. It's sad. I was pretty it's not often that I'm just like, because you think of the wrestlers and you're just like, oh, I grew up watching these people. They're on TV. They're characters on a show that you're watching, and you're just like, yeah, okay. And then you hear that they pass, and you're just like, him Luis from Sesame Street's the other one that passed this week. That was another one that hit me where I was just like, yeah. I was just like, God damn. Like, so RIP to Luis, RIP to Scott Hall, and then unfortunately also William Hurt passed away. General Ross from the MCU. And I know there's probably a few film buffs out there who are just like, he did more than that. He has a wonderful filmography. Don't get me wrong. But for the purposes of a geek podcast, Geektastic Sci-Fi, for the people who may not have watched his wonderful love stories or his, the only things that me as a nerd knew him from when I was younger was Lost in Space and then General Ross from the MCU. So
yeah. I mean, listen, it's starting to feel like we are definitely at that age ourselves, right? Where we're going to start seeing that a lot more. Like the average life expectancy for men is what, 75 to 79?
I felt that when Uncle Phil passed away, how many years ago?
Yeah. That's Uncle Phil you seem shocked. Do you think we all live to 100 or
yes?
Or what?
If you live like that good, bro. You live good over here.
Man, 40 is called midlife crisis for a reason, because that's like literal midlife. It's crazy to think.
I'm 37. Like, don't talk to me about like, what do you mean?
You haven't faced your mortality yet? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Except every second moment my hand and everything else hurts. No, I haven't faced my mortality. Shit.
I'll be out here being like, it's normal. We're all like, no, motherfucker.
We're all gonna live forever.
You're the morbid one.
You know what? I'm not of the mindset that I'm gonna live forever, but I'm also not sitting here being like, man, it's
80. I lived good.
% of the way, kids. It's all.
Again, it's not like that's
not looking at the sun setting.
Stop making it seem like that's how I phrase it. I was just pointing out that we're going to see more of it at the age that we're at.
Let me say exactly what you said. Let me say exactly what you said. 40 is a midlife because we die between 75 to 80. Is that fair? Is that a better way to put what you said?
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's an amalgamation of everything I said in your summary, which is fair.
That's me paraphrasing the easiest stuff out of it. Wild.
You know what? Time. Listen, we're all gonna live past 100. All right, cool. Let's turn it back to where you guys feel comfortable.
Hey man, in the Expanse, you had characters living to 120. Let's aim for it, baby. We can do it, right?
Yes, 100%.
120? You really want to do that?
Okay.
Like how mobile are you?
Here.
Right?
You can't be upset about
120,
and then you can't be upset about.
I'm upset.
I got another 80. God damn! I don't want to be here that long.
No, but like, I mean, okay, wait, hold on.
What age do you want to live to?
Yeah,
let's start with that
number. We'll say, okay, that's how long it'll be.
Yeah.
I want to live to the exact point where the world is like.
You got to pick a number.
No, I don't. I really don't. I want to live
to the exact points.
108. 108.
Wow.
Sorry, I gave you 12 extra years.
You know what? We're on this existential point of the conversation. I want to ask you, what do you think you want to accomplish between 90 and 108? And you have to remember, you have to be mobile in a way. Like, there's a certain way where your body kind of gives way before your mind, right?
Laughing at all the motherfuckers that pissed me off throughout life and that they died first. Making sure.
So this is only for you.
Yeah, those 8 years. Those 8 years are legit actual vengeance. That's it.
Skinny is not here for the whole idea that humanity lives for 100. No. Skinny wants to live longer than his enemies, so he could just be like,
You're gonna be in like a hospital bed, and people are gonna be coming and showing you like the funerals of all these random people, and you're just gonna be smiling like, yes.
You know what? I see it as like he's got a massive like book full of names that have to be checked off before he passes, and they're gonna keep bringing him the book. He checks it off and goes, "I'm not ready yet," and he just keeps going until all the names. It's like your Death Note.
You know what? Our own superpower right now.
I'll tell you this, Skinny. I'll tell you this. I had a lady come into the hospital one time when I used to work at the hospital, and she was easily in her like late 60s. And I feel like I might have told this story already, but she looked like she was in her late 60s, and her her card said she was in her late 60s, but she looked like she was in her 40s. Easy. Okay. And I was just like, I looked at the ID, I looked at her, I looked at the ID again, I looked at her. And then I outright asked, can I have a second piece of ID? Because I didn't believe her ID, because I was just like, this doesn't, like, I understand if someone looks 50 if they're at late 60s, but she looked like a 40-year-old. Like she looked like
it happens.
Yeah,
that's all.
So when I asked her, I was just like, ma'am, I hope this isn't too forward, but I mean, it says you're 60 whatever on this card. I would say you look about mid 40s. What's the secret?
Sounds like a pickup line.
I know.
Did she then pick you up and then drain your soul from your mouth a little bit?
No. What she said was, and I quote, I swear,
succubus.
This is exactly what she said. She said, honey, never hold a grudge. And then she just got up and left.
Hey, that's shut up. Listen, no, you know what? You know what? Yo,
Skinny,
you know
she said,
what?
honey, never hold a grudge. Got up with her card and salute and walked off.
I'm not holding grudges, but I do. I salute
you
her.
Said you want to
I'm not holding grudges.
You just said
not grudges.
You want to live to 108 so that you outlive your enemies.
Yeah,
I said no. I didn't say enemies. I actually didn't say enemies. I said motherfuckers that pissed me off. All right, that's not enemies. These are
These are not people you like who could be
people who might have slighted or done something. It's not a grudge.
That's a grudge. Yes.
Would you be around these people?
No.
In their presence,
that's 100% grudge, homie.
That's not a grudge.
That sounds like enemy as well. I'm sorry. Like how you're describing.
I got three. You coming to me at the same time. Hold on. It's not a grudge. I just so happen to would like to live longer than them so that I could laugh at them at their funeral. That's all.
All right. You know what? We'll let you get away with your own definition.
I mean, yeah, you can.
That is a happy sport. That's what it is.
Yeah,
you can define the word grudge however you want. It doesn't change what the
word. A grudge. A grudge would be like, oh, I'm mad at this person because he stole this from me, and I want to make sure that I live longer than him. No,
you don't have to name names, but what is the reason? What have these people done?
Yeah. What's a slight?
Can these people get off this list? Or is this like a permanent list?
Yes, Dave. Dave's asking the hard question.
Can they get off this list?
Oh no! Are they in your death note or not?
They can be removed from the list.
Okay,
but it would be like a lot.
Okay, I just want to point out the definition.
That's not a grudge, though. That's not a grudge.
A persistent feeling of ill will or resentment resulting from a past insult or injury. So
I don't want them to die. That's not ill will.
No.
They don't.
I don't resent them. Let's break it down. So far, you said these people are on a list because of possible resentment made from resulting from a past insult or resentment.
Y'all just
a slight falls into that category.
A slight.
Yeah, well, that's a slight. Yeah, so that's
a slight insult.
Insults are skinny. This is the craziest game of semantics I've ever played in my life, and I love it. A slight and an insult are two different things.
I mean okay.
Technically,
a slight. Okay, a direct insult would be a direct insult towards me, my character, family, and someone. A slight would be they may not even be aware of what they might have slighted me in. So that
isn't that worse? Wait, okay,
so
but
you're saying that someone's slight.
That's even worse.
Are slight.
So it's a possibility I'm on this list, Skinny.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't say who. That's why you guys are pulling out lists.
I'm getting nervous.
Skinny was just
when you get to a certain age, maybe I'm gonna look at me while I'm coughing. I'm gonna be like,
I'm thinking back. I'm like, I did come to your place once. Did I leave a cup on the table without a coaster? And I just slided.
Who knows? Anything could happen. I don't know.
One of my favorite openings ever. This is so good.
This light can go from ranges. It can range from
Skinny's like, niggas, you all on the list. Shut the fuck up. This right now is putting you on the list. Y'all need to shut your ass down.
Yo, straight up. Even this conversation in itself.
This conversation. Listen, I told you it's not a slight or an insult. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, it can just lead you into a place where you just don't want to be with your boy Skinny. Especially if I'm so clairvoyant and I have all these predictive powers as they claim.
Oh my god, this is so good. This is so good.
Anyway,
all right.
No insults, no grudges hold. I just want to live older than most people that I tend to,
108, he says. Wow,
108.
that's awesome.
Those 8 years. That's all I know.
I just love that this started with you saying like, we lived about 80, and Skinny being like, that's not long enough. I was like, hey man, 120. He's like, that's too long.
Yeah.
Knocks off 12 years.
He's got it down to a science.
Long enough for me to dance upon their grave, but not too long so that they can come back and hunt me.
No,
that's the title.
108, you're not dancing on any grave, bro.
Long enough.
No,
body,
I'm not gonna dance.
Your body will not be.
Who knows though? Because we might get some sort of super soldier serum that'll be like, you can feel like you're 40 at 80, and I might be like doing a crip walk on some of these shit.
On the grave.
Yeah. What is Cameron saying in that song? Shoot your funeral up and then Harlem shake at your wake? Bong. I wouldn't be shooting no funerals up, but Harlem shaking at your wake. Ooh, that's a good line.
Man.
Ooh, doing some of these at someone's.
I worked out today, and I thought the workout was the best feeling. Like when you do a good workout and you get that workout high.
Yeah.
This laughter was better than the workout high. That shit is.
Imagine going to a funeral and looking over and seeing an old man Harlem shaking at somebody's wake.
Just tapping it on the grave, yo.
Some old man is doing that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. That's so dark. That's so dark.
Yo, rest in peace, y'all. To the
Oh no.
You know what though? The reason I said it at the end is because that their passing spurred this conversation, and I'm gonna give them credit. And as much as it's sad when people pass, being able to find the laughter in those moments is probably the most important thing. So to them, we're celebrating life. They gave us a lot of entertainment. They did a lot for us. One of them helped teach me how to count. The other one showed me how to be a bad guy but have fun with it. And the other one played an interesting version of a character that we all really loved from the comic books, or even hated, but he did it well. And that's what makes this conversation fun, because from that spurred a conversation of living to 108 and doing the Harlem Shake on your friends' graves.
How do you think?
And that shit is great.
You definitely know that Scott Hall is like, damn, he went before me. Know that he had a couple of those thoughts.
Oh yeah.
How does his passing though affect the whole Thunderbolt team thing that's been kind of building right now in the Marvel universe?
I was gonna say, what? Make him a Skrull.
Ooh.
Make him a Skrull. Show him in CGI like they've been doing. It's unfortunate. But
I don't
CGI.
like that. That's an easy out. What
are you gonna do though?
No, I know, but the fact that you just said that, I guess you can.
You have to. They have to get used to the concept that they're gonna have to recast when certain things like this happen.
The character is already so old; it's not worth recasting.
Yeah. Well, the point is the character is supposed to be like I would like to see a Red Hulk. I would like to see a Red Hulk, and I would like to see Thunderbolts. I would.
They make room for that.
Yeah, there's certain characters.
There's too much happening for Red Hulk.
Yeah, there's certain characters I don't think, as much as we like them, I don't think we ever actually see.
Or they translate well.
They won't translate. Like Red Hulk isn't a character that translates well. Because then
I would agree.
You just have two Hulks fighting. It's not interesting.
Well, because the first movie is like the Avengers versus the Hulk. Like you have a reincarnation, except for you have it's with Red Hulk, and then you can have like
I understand everything you're saying, but Red Hulk as a character in the comic book, the guy who's obsessive and hunting the Hulk continuously and then wants to fight him. Like if you're gonna do the Red Hulk and you want to do it properly, are you just gonna do Red Hulk, skip all the obsession with Banner, and just make him another Hulk in the universe? Or do you tell his story?
You could easily explain it. No, you could easily, because you have the other movies, you could just recap a bunch and then make it so he goes to the point that he's like, oh, I really want to get to him. And then you turn Red Hulk.
Stopped caring about Hulk for the last like 5 movies. He hasn't even talked about. He hasn't been in the same room with the Hulk or talked about the Hulk for years. He's been taking care of all the initiatives. Why would he all of a sudden? I'm still
he's been in room. He's been in a room with our Hulk many times and like barely ever addresses him.
Well, but you could easily make a quick cut scene or montage thing that turns into like his planning of whatever plan he has, and then fooling the Hulk and coming back. Like that's
what I'm saying.
Come on,
everything you're saying is a lot of having to do huge amounts of exposition
Yeah.
to explain why General Ross, who's been in the background this whole time, was still actually secretly trying to kill the Hulk and was doing all this
exactly.
stuff.
Like, what's the point? This is almost like to satisfy
'Cause
you, not the Marvel universe right now.
Well, I think it's something that Hulk fans would like. I'm not the biggest
Sure.
Hulk fan, but if I had to say, if I was a Hulk fan, that would be like one of the movies I would want. Just like I'd want to see him go against everybody.
Yeah, I'll say this though, Dave. Do you think Marvel cares about Hulk fans? Be honest. Out of the 20-something,
what they did with with Thor and Hulk Planet.
Yeah, they didn't even.
War Hulk.
They didn't even give the man his own stories. They're giving away his stories. I don't think Marvel cares about the Hulk the way the fans care about Hulk, and that's why I don't think,
because that's just a cool team I'm never gonna see. But it's all right.
Yeah, I just don't think they're gonna invest in Red Hulk. I don't see.
I'd be shocked if it does happen. If anything, there's been like a weird reference to Amadeus Cho.
But if anything, what they could another easy out for this is just you just don't bring him back. He's not in any current storyline.
True.
He's always busy in the background, and then either recast him if you ever feel like you actually really need the character back, and there's been enough movies that have gone by.
You know what?
They probably don't. And like this version of Thunderbolts could probably be ran by what's her name, Valentina.
Yeah. So, at this point, yeah.
Well, it depends which version you're specifically thinking. I'm thinking about the one that it's like not all the because it evolves, right? The first Thunderbolts are like all the villains and whatnot, but there is one.
Like
and I thought this was. No, it's Thunderbolt Ross, Venom, which is the Flash Thompson version. Agent Venom, thank you. Deadpool, Elektra, Punisher. And I think I might be missing.
I'm talking about the MCU.
Oh, wait, are you talking about the red team?
He's talking about the red team. Yeah.
That team, I had expectation because
that's never happening.
All the names that they have. What do you mean?
It's never happening.
They're never doing that. They're never doing that.
They have them all.
How long was that?
They just got them all. They don't need to change where they're already headed with the story just to accommodate the fact that they got new characters when they could literally write new stories for those characters.
Yeah.
How long was the iteration of that Thunderbolts team?
I have those issues, so it couldn't have been that long because I remember reading
that. Really? Was it only?
I don't know. It wasn't.
People go off about that team in like the Legends community because they're like, "Oh, we need to complete this team." I'm like, I don't remember this Thunderbolts.
They're a good team. It was interesting. Like, there's one. I remember one of the stories them being like in a bar. Like, there's like a huge fight inside of a bar that kind of gets wild, and they're all kind of like sniping at each other, but also fighting people. And I remember thinking like, "Oh, I like this dynamic that they don't trust each other." But when push comes to shove, they have each other's backs in situations like this. But then also, I think like Deadpool was still really out for himself. Still, like they all had like reasons for being there.
Yeah, they were. It was imagine like having the reverse Suicide Squad. Like it was Suicide Squad missions, but they all actually had something to gain, and the only reason why they got together was because of that. It's because by chance everyone, or it was like now you owe me one, so because you all owe me one. Because that's like the Deadpool. That was one of Deadpool's arcs. He's like, they're like, "What's your mission?" They're like, and it was like the stupidest mission ever. Like, why are you making us do this? He's like, "I'm just lazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything."
But when did this happen in between? Because there was also the Thunderbolts before this with Citizen V, and then there was still a Thunderbolts that was led by Luke Cage. So when did this?
There was also what's his name? The guy from Winter Soldier, Falcon, whatever it's called.
The Winter Soldier
led the Thunderbolts at one time. That was great. You're like, I'm gonna give up speaking in the middle of this.
He means Baron Zemo.
That's it.
Zemo.
I was so concentrated on thinking of the name.
It's funny that you say that though, because there is a Baron Zemo team, but there also was a Winter Soldier team. Yeah. Winter Soldier gets a team.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
B is on Winter Soldier's team. That's the one where they're fighting and they're trying to save Cubic. And it's the version of the team that's right before the secret what's the story with that I fucking hate where
Secret Empire.
Secret Empire, thank you. The story right before Secret Empire, or even the story during Secret Empire, the version of Thunderbolts is the one with Winter Soldier.
You know which one they could probably do is the Kingpin one.
Yeah,
there's a Kingpin one.
There's a Kingpin version
when he was mayor.
Well, it's currently happening now during the what's it called storyline there, where Kingpin is just hell bent on destroying all superheroes. But okay, I don't know.
But okay, I'll say this, Dave, your theory they could make it as a series. But I don't think they want to do that as a movie because none of the characters in that are A-list as Marvel understands it.
Except for bringing
Deadpool.
back John Bernthal, the girl that played Elektra, Deadpool.
Yeah, but those guys are all TV. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. For TV, that would make sense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and,
Which is weird.
I think Ryan Reynolds would do that, ironically, though.
As a show?
I think Ryan Reynolds would do that. Take like a break of like going around the world and whatnot, having a stable.
The motherfucker's almost 50. He'll do whatever. Yeah.
It's true.
I don't think that Ryan Reynolds is almost 50.
Yeah, for sure. They're all
Ant-Man is 50.
He's almost. That's what I'm saying.
He's past his midlife, guys.
And they're living their best life.
You shut up. Oh my gosh. No.
He missed that 3.
I don't care. It was worth it.
Morgan, yeah.
Listen, brick shots.
It doesn't mean that you're the best time of your life is over just because you're over 40, right? You know, Morgan Freeman is prime example. Samuel L. Jackson is prime example.
Dog, I got carpal tunnel on my left hand, and I have no idea how that happened. I don't.
Carpal tunnel sucks. Yeah. I see it.
My thumb can't do this properly. Like I can't do the whole. What was that movie, Gladiator? I can't do that without it hurting. Right? I do thumbs down, and my shit's it's not good. So no. I need something. I need some sort of serum that could heal my body because after 30, anything that breaks on you doesn't.
Hey man, just go out there and go for a run.
They just don't want to give it to us yet.
It'll hurt at first. You heard me.
I heard both of you.
I'm saying go for a run, like a little 20-30 minute exercise, bro. After a week of pain, a lot of things will start feeling better.
Big facts, dude.
Yeah,
it really.
So if I just equalize the pain with more pain, you're telling me I'm going to feel better?
No.
Yes.
No, here.
You know what?
In this scenario.
Yeah, you know what really
kind of
sucks?
cancels out.
Yeah, it really sucks because I have I have a bad left knee. I've had it since I was like in my 20s.
Yeah.
And every time it starts to get really bad, all my doctors just remind me, homie, do squats. It will tighten the muscle above the knee. It'll tighten the one that connects to the patella. They all say it. And every time I do squats for like 2 weeks and I do this one exercise.
It's a little tightness, you know?
Yeah. I do this one exercise to tighten the muscle around the knee. Every time I start to do that, the pain goes away almost immediately. I stop feeling the pain. And I'm always just like, man, I got to keep doing this because
and that's the problem, right? The problem is making the time to do the thing that helps you.
Yeah, because when I do the thing, my knee doesn't hurt. But then doing the workout sucks because I'm like tired. But then my knee doesn't hurt like 80% of the day.
Yeah.
But if I don't do it, my knee hurts 70% of the day, and 30% is like me lying down and just being happy that it's like, oh, this finally doesn't hurt. So
it's a different kind of pain, Skinny. It's not the same.
Why do you think yoga is a good idea, dude? Because yoga will also take I do yoga because I have a hip issue, and if I don't do the yoga, it fucking hurts.
Hey, do not insult yoga. I do.
He's a married man now.
I'll stand by yoga any day of the do
That's right. So will I.
DDP yoga
that's
is
not what he was
good.
saying. I know what Skinny was saying about yoga.
No, I wasn't saying anything about
he didn't say anything. He just laughed. Listen, folks, this is a podcast. Y'all need to calm down with your judgments. We can make jokes. All these angry people out there. Oh boy. Let's just
as long as I don't catch you one of them hot yoga things in the back room, then I know who you are. That's all.
Hey man, hot yoga's a shit.
Yeah, but if you're in the back room, I know why you're there. You're not in the front
back of the room.
Yeah, if you're
bro, I'm in the back room because I'm hiding because of how inflexible I am in the first few classes.
Right.
That's why I'm at the back.
Flexibility.
That's
why you're sitting in the back.
That's why you're in the back. Yeah.
All those people.
You guys sound like people who've never been in
yoga's so trash now too.
Bad. You don't sound good defending yourself, and they ain't helping.
No. But also, like, if you've been in yoga and you're actually, I know, but if you've been there and you're actually doing what's happening,
I know. I'm just
have
joking.
no time.
But
anyone else because you're.
But yoga's been blown up, so like you're gonna just get a bunch of guys in the class anyway.
Oh, yo,
did I ever that too? I guess.
Did I ever tell you guys? Okay, first of all, if you guys ever have a chance and there's something that you're trying to figure out when the hype started, just go to Google Trends and type in the thing you're thinking of and look at the trend because I remember at one point thinking like, when did yoga blow up? Like trying to remember the specific time, and it was like 2000, I don't know, 9 or 10. It was like something, and I just Google trend search yoga searches United States, and you literally see the trend line go like this, and then all of a sudden one day, boom, yoga near me, yoga this, and you just start. I don't know what changed that year, but everyone got obsessed with yoga.
Interesting.
And it's been the same way for the last little while.
Athletes
was it when Lululemon was out?
Oh, that might be good. That's actually a good point. Look up yoga and Lululemon and see if there's a match on when it syncs up.
Yeah, he's right. It's a big old jumper on 2009.
Yeah, it's a huge jump. Like
Holy
it's
shit.
insane when you see the graph because you're just like, okay, no one cared, no one cared, no one cared. Boom, explosion, huge.
Yeah,
jump.
I was looking at the smaller graph, like the larger graph, but it's like more specifically, it's like January 2011, and that shit jumped from like 49 to like 65.
Yep.
Wow, people are crazy. And then it jumped down and it dropped at like May 2020 because
because you can't do anything.
Well,
sorry, you can at home if you know it, but you don't.
Relax, people are getting back to normal. You can do things now, Dave. You can do it.
No, I know what. Anyways,
I never argued that you couldn't. I was talking
yoga challenge.
Context.
Geek-tastic
it's funny that you say that because Akeem Grams is out there. If you guys follow Akeem on social media, Akeem Grams just posting himself doing yoga and enjoying, but / not enjoying it because he looks like he's just in pain. But he was, he's telling people to go try it out. I think
if you have hip issues,
promoting something, but
it's straight up, man. Hip and lower back issues. Yoga is like after one class of hot yoga, bro, I start to feel better. It's crazy.
I will say though, I will remind people if you are doing yoga, maybe talk to your doctor or osteopath about your back. Because one of my buddies found out that some of the stretches in yoga, as much as the stretches are good, they're actually they actually were damaging. Some of the stretches are like this feeling. The feeling you get from the stretch is good, but the way it stretches causes slight damage to the like fluid between the discs.
Nope.
Does it depend on what kind of issue? I guess you have to. That would
no, it's pretty much there's like specific movements in yoga that no matter what, the way you stretch your back pulls the discs apart, and that gel in the middle gets like pressed a certain way. And he's just
that
like,
should be like standard for them to take those poses out then if it's like that much of an issue.
They don't know that.
Yeah, because yoga is so old, they probably have just all done it, and it's it's like, oh, you're tightening the muscles around your back and you're doing all this stuff. That's great, but sometimes tightening those muscles might not, like you can't work out the discs and the gel between your discs. It's there. And that just gets older with time. So they were just saying to be mindful of that. When you're young, your body will heal faster from that stuff and the little tears. But the older you get, you have to be more mindful of that stuff. I'm not telling people don't do yoga. Do the yoga. I'm just saying be mindful of some of the stuff when you're doing yoga.
Yeah, I will add to that. And I will say be mindful of when you stretch your back and be aware and really truly believe in yourself when you probably hurt yourself. Because I went to the hospital because I stretched my back and I hurt something in my chestal muscle, so on. Yeah. And it was not fun, and it was hurting to swallow food and so on. I knew I just stretched something, probably bad, hurt a muscle, so on. I get to the hospital, and I guess it was the doctor who started at the midnight shift. He's like, okay, we're going to get everybody out of here. This motherfucker quickly was like, I think you have acid reflux. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I don't have acid reflux. He's just like, I'm going to prescribe you something for acid reflux. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I don't have acid reflux. I would know if I had heartburn. I know heartburn. This ain't no heartburn. Like, nigga, just x-ray me so I can see what the fuck. Like, please listen. I've been sitting here since 7. It's midnight now. Could you just clearly try to get me out? He's like, so I see that you were on naproxen. Yes, for my thumb. You know, doctors prescribe that because it's a little heavier than Tylenol. He's like, yeah, and then before that, you were on something else? I'm like, yeah, I had a sinus infection that I got from my daughter. He's like, I see. Well, I'm going to prescribe you more naproxen and this here acid reflux medication. Let me tell you how I haven't taken any of the medication. Why? Because after 3 days of rest, guess what started feeling better? Me.
You're back. Yeah.
Right? So, no, to those doctors who are just trying to throw hard-ass Tylenol at you.
I mean...
and he probably thought I was a pillhead.
How did they get paid? I guess, right? Is it the amount of prescriptions you write? Is it just like the amount of people you see on a daily basis?
True.
There's got to be a bunch of.
If it's the corrupt doctors, yes. If it's a doctor that's doing their job properly, it's based on how many patients they're seeing.
So you could try to rush patients out just to see someone else.
See, that's the thing. It doesn't benefit them to rush the patients out because they can just keep seeing patients. Like I worked in the ER. If you come into the ER, you can just have, because you're still getting like, I'm the doctor on the monitored care side, which is the patients who come in and end up in a bed. For every patient on that side, I'm still getting paid with no matter how many patients there are there. If more of them come in, I'm going to still get paid. I'm not getting them out. I'm still getting paid no matter what. Like the ER doesn't have to empty out. It's whoever is name is stamped on the card in the time that I'm the doctor and they come in. No matter what. As soon as they come in and as soon as I look at their chart the first time, I get stamped and I get a chit, as it was called, to get paid out.
Sometimes it's also like they're, I don't know, like going to a doctor almost feels useless a lot of the times because you already know you're not going to get.
If they're not your family doctor and if they don't actually care about you like that. Because
I keep trying to explain to people one of the main reasons the ER is so long is because a lot of people come into the ER for things that are not emergencies,
right?
And then cause everyone else to get delayed because the person who comes in for a cough and the person who comes in for like these other dude, I remember when I worked there, someone came in for a paper cut. Some people come into the ER for some of the wildest things, but they come in, they get checked by the triage nurse, they get put in the waiting room, and then the doctor has a priority list of which patients have actual major things. And when the triage nurse is like, oh, this guy's blood pressure is way higher, he's on this med, that guy gets seen before the other people who come in, and it just takes a long time. But that's the problem with it. We have free healthcare. I think people should go see the doctor if you have to, but also
that's
if
the
you're
problem with free healthcare, though, right? Those who end up needing it always seem to have to wait in line with everyone else who don't need it as much, right? And that's like the issue with like public versus private. Sometimes it makes me wish I'm like, I'd pay the extra just so I'm seen because I know I'm in pain. Like I have some nightmare ER stories. Like ER, ER, like unbelievable, like how much pain I was in, for hours. And I'm like, what do I need to do to see somebody? It's crazy. It's insane.
And you'll just sit there, and that's it. And there's no logic.
I was in such pain. They had to bring me to a room to lie down.
Monitor.
And I'm like, but like, doesn't this mean I'm probably gonna die? Like, if I'm having such a hard time standing up or sitting down, and I'm in that much pain, it's insane.
And it sucks. And like they can't give you medication until the doctor has seen you first. So sometimes you come in, it's obvious you need pain meds, but until the doctor's seen you, they're not allowed to give you the pain meds.
Brian, let me ask you something. I understand there's a long queue and there's other patients and there's only one doctor usually around for Montreal, blah, blah, blah. But like seeing one person every hour, how is that?
That's insane.
Okay, so that depends on the doctor.
I don't understand that.
So that depends on the doctor. In the ER I worked at, there was 3 types of doctors.
Let's go break them down.
You had the doctors who, I know this is crazy, but I'm giving you guys insider info because this is some stuff that I usually don't tell people all the time. There's 3 types in my experience. I'll say again, because this is when I worked in the ER. There's 3 types of doctors. You had the doctors that when you came in, they are going to assess every single thing about you and rule out everything. You want a doctor like that if you potentially, knock on wood, might have cancer. I know that shit sucks, but that doctor is the type of person who's running every single test. You're doing tests that you're like, do I need this? And the doctor's just like, yeah, I just want to rule this and this and this out. Then you have the doctors on the other end who are just like, you come in, you explain your stuff. The doctor's just like, okay, you have this. And you're just like, are you sure I have this? Because which is what Skinny's explained. Like,
that's what I got.
This is the thing. Like, and you might be explaining to them, and sometimes the doctors aren't necessarily listening, and that's unfortunate. And I mean, if you truly feel that doctor was not listening to you, folks, I would say file a complaint with the ombudsman because those doctors will never change if no one ever says anything. Those doctors just continue, and that's just what it is. And then you had the mid-row doctors, which was the doctors like, you know, there's some mid-row doctors when I used to work the ER were like the fucking best. Like those guys are chill, they respect the nurses, they get the work done, they understand the time crunch, but they also understand what they need to do. You know, they're the type of doctor that when you come into the ER and they're like, okay, this patient doesn't need to stay in the ER for the whole night. To give them this paper to come back first thing in the morning to get these tests.
And because straight up, you'll be there till 7 in the morning, and they're like, "What are X-rays?" And you're like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. You had this little paper that they fill out, and they give you the paper, and they're like, "Come back at 7 a.m. You're still gonna have to wait, but you don't have to wait here in a waiting room." And then people would come back, and then you would go, and whatever your priority was when you show up again, you get to go get your X-ray in that priority. Those doctors were the ones that I loved because the ER, the waiting room, the ER, the whole experience, people aren't yelling at me every 2 seconds, threatening to jump through the glass. And, you know, they come up to the window. Hey, how long's the wait? I was just like, I'm sorry, sir. There's actually no way for me to tell you how long the wait is based on how the system is. Fuck you, man. I know you know how long. I've had people, I've had people spit on the glass. I've had people try to break the glass. I had a guy rip his shirt off and try and start a fight with me. Like, ERs were just crazy.
Yeah,
so
there's definitely, it's not the land of patience, let me tell you.
No, and I get it.
It's not.
Hey,
I'm so proud of that pun.
That was a good one.
I didn't even catch it.
I like that. I like that one.
No, when I went, I know that there was an older couple there, and like the amount of complaining that they were doing, like legit, like they would be like, okay, their daughter would call, be like, yeah, so your daughter wants to know if there's any updates. Obviously the father's like, no, like I'm still here. He's like, that guy just got here and he went before me. Me knowing that I know it works based on priority, not on who got there first. I'm kind of like, all right, this is the first time he'll say it. They literally mentioned that like 4 more times. Then they get a message. Your daughter's saying that you should fake being, what's it called? You should fake being like terminally ill so that you go ahead of people. And in my head, I'm almost like, that's horrible and extremely privileged.
Also,
like, what do
they
you do?
know if you're terminally ill. Like if you have a medical record, they're gonna know if you're like, you can't just walk in and be like, I'm terminally ill. Like that's not how that works.
So like they finally leave because I guess they got tired of waiting. They might have been there like 2 hours or whatever. And I'm just like, man, part of every bit of me was just like, don't get up and yell at these people. Don't get up and tell them that they basically should be waiting there because of their lack of patience and they should remain to wait. Don't say anything, Akil. Stay.
I get it. They're on your slight list, those people.
oh yeah. They're on the slight.
It's starting to connect. It's starting to make sense in one scenario.
You're gonna go to their funeral and people are gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Reasons being why. This is the type of people you knew they were. This is the type of slimy people you thought you knew they were. The wife is like, I gotta sneeze, but I don't want to sneeze in my mask because that's gross. Takes off the mask, sneezes.
Oh, bitch! I hate those people.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, and even before,
but like sneeze like out, like not with a tissue, just like
not with tissue. What, bro?
Yeah, what does it matter? Your mask
no,
was
like
covering your whole face. It's better to sneeze into your mask.
Yeah, but then you have to live with that in your face until like, you know, depending on how bad the sneeze is.
You've done that.
What if it's a snot ball that leaves your mouth?
Guys, if I really cared, and here's where she probably maybe went wrong, leave the room.
Yes,
and go sneeze elsewhere with Kleenex in your sleep, whatever it is.
Skinny, you were at a hospital?
Yeah.
There's boxes of masks.
Yeah, no, there aren't.
Everywhere.
Not Lachine.
Lachine doesn't have the boxes everywhere? God damn, Lachine, are you okay?
Yo, one of the worst hospitals I've ever had been to.
God damn.
Worst.
See, that hurt. I can't do that.
Oh, no. For those of you listening to the podcast, you just did the gunshots with the wrist. And...
Yo, it was like so many like injuries as a kid, like, when I was playing sports, like roll your ankle, knee, something, and like they didn't do shit there. I feel like I can go back and sue them for malpractice after all these years because of how much better I probably could have healed from certain things had I gotten the right attention.
Yeah.
You know?
Worst. When I broke,
I'm in there for a chest injury, and the first thing he asked me, he's just like, "Are you a smoker?" I'm almost like, No, not like of course I'm wearing a do-rag, so obviously I fit the mold. So he's like, I'm like, not really. He's like, what are you not sure? I'm almost like, well, what are you asking? He's like, cigarettes. I'm almost like, well, no. He's like, marijuana. I'm almost like, yeah. But again, why is that your first question?
What also why is that relevant?
They do ask that. Yeah,
it's the disdain and attitude he had with me. I was like,
that's the annoying question that everyone gets asked.
No, but I will say, first of all, now that smoking weed has been legalized, ask the question separately. Like, don't ask, "Are you a smoker?" People will have like, I used to find it weird because back in the day when weed wasn't legal, they would literally like ask you, "Are you a smoker?" And then people would be like, "No." And then like a smart doctor, like the doctors I knew that I liked, the ones I got along with, the chill guys, would be like, do you partake in a little bit of the, like they ask like in a sly way, and people would clue in and they'd be like, it's not it doesn't matter. You can't get in trouble for having done it in the past. It's just something we need to know when we're doing XYZ.
This
and people
coming at me like narc and shit.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if a guy comes up to you, he's like, are you a smoker? And then like giving you that like disappointed
the slight look.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about what you just said? I feel like it doesn't really matter, right? Like especially like marijuana. Cigarettes might matter if you come in for a certain condition, but weed, for example, I think it's more of a poll. Like it's more for data or something.
No. It's because smoking anything into your lungs will have an effect on the body.
Yeah.
But it's also like I pulled the muscle in my back and in my chest. The fuck you asking me about smoking for?
They're gonna ask you that.
Yeah. But that's
at 12:30. I'm kind of like, yo, like,
if a girl walks in and she's over a certain age and she walks in for back pain or chest pain, they'll be like, "Are you sexually active? Do you think you're pregnant?" And they'll run a pregnancy test.
Well, I wouldn't want
that. Every single time. And dude, I have to tell you, and I mean, obviously, thankfully, I don't know any of the names, but the amount of times like young women would come in with friends and think like, oh, something's wrong, and leave finding out they were pregnant was so sad and freaky. Like,
what in the Degrassi? What?
Sorry,
what in the Euphoria, more or less?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was, and it was moments like that I'd be like,
good adjustment.
Being a man is such a like, it's so unfair in this situation because these girls come in thinking like, oh, like I have a sore chest, or oh, my back's been hurting.
You're 7 weeks.
I've been throwing up a lot, and it's just like now that my partner has told me a lot of those signs mean pregnancy, it's like, oh, but these teenage girls don't know that. No one's telling them. So they come in like, 17, 18, 19, 20. They come in because something's like that. And then they find out they ask them, have you been active? Do you think? And they're like, no, like, they don't think it's anything. Run the pregnancy test, comes back positive.
Yo.
A lot. It would happen often. It was crazy. Wild times.
Grimy ass.
I know what to look for.
Grimy.
Grimy.
I gotta end it on a high note.
This is why.
Speaking of grimy ass kids,
we're never. You should. It's a reason to, if you're gonna do it, make sure you're protected. Because you could easily fall within the ovulation window.
Or make sure you put hot sauce in the condom. Dave, you were about to do a smooth transition into grimy kids in the Adam Project. I felt it.
That's where I was going.
Hit us.
All right.
Well, Chris, how many people have we all seen it?
I've seen it.
I have not, but you don't worry about me.
It's okay. All right. So, Adam Project is the new Netflix film with Ryan Reynolds,
directed by Sean Levy.
Exactly.
And what's her name's in it? Gamora.
Gamora's in it, and so is the Hulk.
Another to my theory.
And so is Elektra from back in the day.
Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, she was Elektra. Was she?
Yeah,
Elektra.
she was OG. Yeah.
That's how long ago I've seen it.
13 going on 30 with Ruffalo, which was also a pseudo time travel thing, which was kind of a geeky nod that I thought was kind of cool.
Ruffalo's in it too.
Yeah, he plays the dad.
He plays the dad.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Man, Disney, man, they have these side contracts. Anyways, go on.
But I don't know about you guys. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was pretty entertaining.
It was great.
I
really did. I really liked it.
It was like, I thought it was very interesting, the interactions between himself as a child. Like it was like, like I thought it was going to be very Ryan Reynolds-esque. And don't get me wrong, they had obviously they had to talk like Ryan Reynolds because of popularity and whatnot, but it was like it was deep though, you know what I mean? It's like if you ever
Just a quick synopsis. It's a movie about time travel. Ryan Reynolds is an adult who travels back, meets his younger self, and needs help from his younger self to complete a mission. There you go.
Yeah. And by the way, the reason why the kid gets dragged along, I thought was perfectly well played.
Yes.
Like why would you? Because anyone who knows time travel stuff, it's like, well, why would you bring your young self along? Because that would just be
into
stupid. If he gets shot, like you just disappear. Like we don't know the rules really yet. So how does this work? Because they did say in this one it corrects itself, right?
Yeah.
They said
You
time corrects itself.
Yeah.
So like I'm assuming that if his younger self would have died, he would have been erased from time. It wouldn't have happened right away.
Any you dying at any time kills all of you.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
It's such an interesting take on time travel, though. The idea
it was.
And how subtle of a romance movie it was, because technically it was a rom-com to a certain degree.
Oh,
if you think about it.
I mean, I would say
sorry, go on.
It's interesting you say that. It had rom-com elements in it. I can see what you're saying.
But like the purpose. Like think about the long-term purpose of the film.
Yeah, I mean that's just hero's journey stuff, though.
Yeah.
So
however but I'm saying it's like one of those. It's a movie that I could easily see anyone would enjoy this movie. Yeah, I don't think you need to be a time traveler.
It's 100% family friendly. Like this is made for everybody. Rated E, straight up. But I found that he was
okay.
Yeah, sorry. Actually, we might be saying the same thing, maybe not. But I felt like the kid was what surprised me the most. Actually, the kid was the reason I bought into the movie.
Yeah, that's
you did a great job.
Very good job.
Killed it.
Yeah.
He was straight up. I believe he was Ryan Reynolds as a kid because of the same quips, mannerisms, everything. He killed it.
And what was wild about it, because I agree with the good acting, I think Ruffalo did a great job. And they're all interactions, because like when they're interacting and then they're both interacting with their dad, and like the dad is like, he has his regular son who's like, oh, you look like my son, but like, you know, you're actually a little older.
Yeah, he's not like emotionally attached really to either of them. He's more attached to his own. It's like this weird. I think I see what you're saying. Like he knows they're his kids. But he played that well.
He played that well, but he also played the fact that he's like, he had at least sympathy for like the younger one.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I assume that you're not scarred. I have no idea what the fuck your problem is. You're just a dick.
Yeah, his relationship with adult Adam was so confrontational, and I get that like Adam's energy towards him was confrontational, but you would think like a father who's seeing his son as an adult time traveling, you'd be like, well, maybe you treat him with a little bit of like, well, I'm your dad and you've probably gone through a lot. No, he plays the part of like, I don't fuck with you, man. Like, I don't like
you are ruining the universe.
Yeah.
Go home. Like, it was so fun. It was so like the dialogue in this movie was ridiculous. The dialogue in this movie was ridiculous.
I don't think there was a miss, like comedy wise. I think the whole thing
was great.
I think the pacing, the tempo, everything.
Yeah. The thing I was going to say is Ryan Reynolds has the career that The Rock wish he had.
Shit.
You know how The Rock is supposed to be the king of the IP? Ryan Reynolds is out here doing things like Free Guy and Adam Project, which again, how rare is it to have these what appear to be original IPs starring someone created building new worlds in 2022. Everything else is a rerun, a redo, a continuation, a sequel. I'm impressed.
You know what the irony is? I think that he got Ryan Reynolds being like because obviously Ryan Reynolds he surrounds himself with good people in everything that he does. You can see that with a lot of things, right? Yeah. But we could say to a certain degree he's the one who drives these things to a certain degree.
I would say so.
I think if it wasn't for his love of the Deadpool and making the Deadpool movie, he wouldn't have had as much experience to maybe pull some of these off.
Because, I see what you're saying.
For sure.
Because like Deadpool
go through.
Yeah, because like first of all, going through like it was like 10 years of like development hell because no one wanted it. Because everyone was nervous about it. But then that was, don't get me wrong, obviously it had similarities to other IPs that were out there, but it was the first real comic book IP like that. like a comedy like that, and how they did it all in
fourth
itself,
wall
right?
breaking, like
all
those specific Deadpool things weren't comic book tropes in movies. You know, like that. They hadn't done those yet.
So he already had to think outside the box there, and then it's like, because I think Ryan Reynolds, he seems to be someone who has a good eye for people. I find, maybe with what I've seen with how he's been in interviews and all the various things that he's with, and because he's not just a movie star, he has various other projects, including owning like a soccer team and stuff. Like he has a variety of shit. So I don't know. I think this is just great. I'm curious what he's going to do next, and I wonder if they're going to do a pairing for like a while, like instead of being like just a Spielberg or just a insert director or whoever, it might be Ryan Reynolds and this guy for a little bit. You know, Louis. I'm bad with names. What's his name? The director?
Sean Levy.
Yeah.
Who's already been tapped to do the third Deadpool, right?
I believe so. Yeah. And now I'm happy that, because at first I was nervous because he's not one of the original, but now that I've seen these two films, it's like, as long as you keep it to the same level, it's fine.
If you have a good working relationship with someone, there's no need to break what's not, fix what's not broken.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean Levy, the guy who did Stuber?
I don't know. I never saw that movie, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Did you realize, like, it's funny that we were talking about like all the different Marvel actors, which is the first thing I noticed once I started seeing them show up. I was like, are they trying to get us used to seeing them together because Deadpool is going to be in the MCU now? I don't know what's happening here. But did you notice that Gamora was sacrificed again?
She sacrificed technically sacrificed herself.
Technically, that was I don't know. I had a little chuckle at that, actually, to be honest.
Well, I mean, but you knew she was coming, but that's the irony, because she also does come back, and she's gonna come back just like we knew in the Marvel movies. That doesn't help.
Oh shit! That did happen. That did happen. Holy shit! That's funny. It's true. And Mark Ruffalo was a professor, but like a more toned down version of Bruce Banner. Oh man, yo, do you think his weapon that he had was probably a cooler lightsaber than a lightsaber?
Oh, dude. The fact that the kid's just like, whoa, lightsaber. He's like, that's not a lightsaber. And then literally at one point he's holding it and like, and it comes out like lightsaber. I'm like, that's a fucking lightsaber, man.
That's Darth Maul's freaking weapon, but like intensified. I loved it. I was like, what? So that's the sickest weapon. I like that he didn't really use guns very much.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. Yeah. The de-aging stuff that they did was a little weird, but I mean, Netflix budget, so I'm not mad at it.
De-aging.
I like that
they had to Saurian. When Saurian goes to see themselves.
Oh
younger.
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
We kind of just forgot about that.
That's so side. That's so side.
That's so funny. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, like I was saying, I really do think that he is creating the career that I think The Rock, like, where like you're creating new IPs, you're doing something interesting, you're doing something new, something original that no one else has done before. And I feel like The Rock is kind of always being brought in to help boost IPs. I don't know that The Rock's attempts at creating new IPs have worked. Skyscraper or whatever, and all that stuff. Like,
yeah. Well, they also Standing Tall, even like it goes all the way back. Standing Tall is not
Walking Tall.
It's.
I think the original one he did with Kevin Hart is probably the closest to that.
Oh, the one with the
buddy cop.
CIA one.
Yeah.
That's probably also the Rundown. The Rundown was.
Is that what's called, The Rundown?
No, that was the first one that he did with what's his name? That guy from
Sean William Scott or whatever the fuck his name is. Stifler.
Yeah.
Stifler. God damn.
He'll never live it down.
I know. Every time I think about like when you have a career, that's all people will ever remember you for.
They'll never make American Pie ever again like that.
No, yeah. All the other ones have been weird.
Yeah, but I mean, just for today's, like, American Pie would get flamed right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the last American Pie that they came out with, where it was the 4 girls, that one was pretty risque. I was like, hey, you guys know that this is a movie that's in 2020 something, like, y'all are getting wild with some of the things you're doing. I don't know if you can.
I think Cockblockers was the last movie where you could like get away with that.
Yeah, that was good too. That was good.
Cockblockers was good.
But like they like some of these other directors though, they're getting at it. Like Booksmart, that was another one. Plan B was another one. There's like these kind of weird teenage coming of age stories where things get wild, and now because it's drugs and stuff are a bigger part of the conversation, some of that stuff gets insane. Like people are just straight up smoking crack and stuff in the movie. You're like, what the f are you people doing with this story?
True.
Jeez.
Crazy.
Just like they won't make another one of those, I'll be going to be saying out, boys. Unfortunately, I got a bounce.
Shout outs. Thank you for jumping in for as long as you could.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, boys, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. You have to thank us for having you.
I know,
you just show up.
I don't know. That was like a natural reaction. I don't know. I wasn't a smooth. I don't like leaving mid-show. I'm not good at it.
Hey, man,
yo, you know what I do when I go to parties? I just leave. I don't say goodbye.
Irish goodbye. I know.
Having to go around the room and saying bye to everybody.
Look how much. You know what it is, though, Toby? He wants this. He wants us to acknowledge his departure. He wants to feel special. Right, Dave?
Man.
Dave, you feel special now? Bye, buddy. We're gonna miss you.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Just drop. Don't even acknowledge Brian. Just leave that.
I'm just trying to trick him into staying longer
right now to like throw at you, but I'm pissed.
All right.
Ciao.
Speaking of content that's just being regurgitated, Bel Air.
Oh shit, yo! I've been.
Did it fall off already? I don't
know. I know. I only watched the first episode.
I've been hovering it.
I haven't watched it
because I'm afraid to watch an episode.
Same, Toby. I waited weeks. This is the first time I watched the first episode just yesterday, and I was just like, fine, let me just finally watch it. Let me see how it is. I love the beginning. The beginning was the music video that Will does on the original show. That's the beginning of the first episode, but it's not a joke. It's not just like play on the basketball court. Like it's real. Like Will's a basketball star at his school. He's like, scouts are coming to his school to see him. One of the kids that was in his school got caught up and got sent to juvie. That kid comes out. He ends up joining the local gang. When he joins the local gang, Will and his boy, his best friend, bump into that dude. They all talk shit like they used to do because they used to be on the court together. That dude challenges him to come down to the court, knowing full well, like, if you come down, me and my boys are going to be there, but come through if you have the balls. Will goes. Full on, the guy that's the head of the gang tells Will, yo, none of this play for shit. You win $2,000 in your pocket. I win, you start working for me.
What kind of shit is that?
Will is so confident, he's just like, bet, let's go. So meanwhile, the friend who was just like, we shouldn't even be going down to this part, brought a gun in his bag because he's just like, yo, you never know what's going to happen. It's Philly, West Philly. You just want to protect yourself. They get to the court. They play the game. Will and his friend destroy boy. Like, beat his ass.
Yeah, but they ain't going to give you no $2,000.
No, that's not even what went wrong. Dude was going to pay the $2,000. But the boy that went to his school that ended up in juvie gets so mad. He takes the basketball. He whips the basketball at Will. Misses Will. Hits the big baller. The big baller turns around. Doesn't realize who did it, thinks Will and his boy did it, starts going at them. Will's boy gets jumped. Will gets away. Will runs to the bag, pulls the gun, and this is why he moves to Bel Air, because now he ends up with a gun charge because he pulled a gun on the biggest drug dealer in the neighborhood. And that's how the story is.
You couldn't just be like, hey.
Well, they didn't see. No one saw the dude do it. The guy picks up the ball. He gets mad. Everyone's looking at Will because Will's being Will. Like, you know how Will is on the show in the original show where he's like, so this kid, I'll give him credit. He embodies that whole super confident energy. Like, he beats the guy, even though he's facing a drug dealer who runs the street. Will is still in the guy's face, like boasting and stuff. And the guy is getting mad, but at the same time, the guy seems to respect him because he was going to peel off that 2K. But then he got hit, and then the guy got mad, and then Will pulls the gun, and next thing you know, the cops show up. Will gets pulled in. The drug dealer dude gets pulled in. Uncle Phil gets Will pulled out because he has connections in Philly because he's running to be the DA in Bel Air, and then that's why Will ends up over there. I got to say, this whole thing with people hating on Carlton was weird. I mean,
I hear he's pure evil. That's why. Like I hear he's not even like joke evil. Like,
yeah, I mean, the vibe I got from him was just he's a privileged prick. Like he comes off as just,
which makes sense because
like
Carlton wasn't always very welcoming to Will in the show.
Yeah, exactly. It's
right. We just see it differently because it's a comedy. So I can see how it's going to take him time to win him over. Yeah.
Same energy, no laugh track. It's the same thing. Carlton that we know and this Carlton are the same person with no laugh track. He comes in.
Carlton loves his dad's attention, so just like the old one. He's the only one who had it, and now another dude comes in the house and is about to be like,
wearing his clothes.
Attention away from, exactly.
Yeah, the first thing he says is just like, "Oh, why?" Like he's like he says, "What's up?" But he's just like, essentially like, "Why are you wearing my fucking clothes?" And it's like, "Oh, Hillary hooked me up." And he's just like, "I make it look good though, right?" Like Will again playing up like how sharp he looks. And then Carlton's just like, "Oh." Carlton starts getting snooty. He's just like, "Oh, you poor boy. Like, if you're gonna wear my shit, wear it properly." He like fixed the cufflinks, like fixes it on. He's like, represent if you're gonna represent. Will's just like, "All right, cool." And it was like you got the vibe of like, I see you. I don't think you should be here. I don't want you here, but I guess I'll deal with the fact that you're here, and so be it. So it was interesting. I thought it was, for the beginning part, it was good, but I don't know how I'm gonna feel about all the characters on the show. Hillary is great. I like what they're doing with Hillary. She's an influencer, so she's just like, I live in the pool house. I'm gonna make that YouTube money. I got my followers. I had 3K people watching me on IG. Like, mom, don't embarrass me type stuff. You're like, cool. Ashley is the little sister. She kind of like, at least in the first episode, at one point she's walking around with Will, and then she's just like, I'm just gonna go see Hillary, and like bolts off. Jazz is cool. He's from Bel Air. He lives there. He's like an Uber driver or something. I don't even really know, but yeah. I gotta say though, Jeffrey's not someone I want to fuck with. That dude.
Yeah. Why is everyone saying so much about Jeffrey? What's this about?
That's
Jeffrey
what I was gonna say.
The vibe. The vibe on Jeffrey is just like Will calls him Idris at one point.
Okay.
And Jeffrey's just like, "All right, man, is that the best you got?" And you're just like, "Yo, Jeffrey about to break someone's teeth." Like,
so he's not from London like our original Jeffrey.
No.
He's from Peckham.
He's
from the
hood. So Jeffrey is Top Boy apparently.
Yes,
pretty much. There you go. Yeah.
Okay, Jeffrey is like, he takes care of business. At one point, Will is talking to Uncle Phil and like two big time lawyers. Like but he's playing again, being Will, so he's like flamboyant, being loud, and all this stuff. Jeffrey looks over, sees it, walks over. He's just like, "All right, man, how about we get you something to eat?" And like has that whole like not asking. I'm telling you, you're gonna move this way and get food because I don't think you need to be here right now.
Yeah.
And Will's just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." But like the energy is just like, But Will likes him because at the beginning they're talking basketball. Like they make a little joke about basketball, and they're like, what was it that he said? Oh, Jeffrey goes, "I'm not an Iverson fan, but King Kobe," and he like does like a prayer and then like puts his finger up, and Will does the same, and he's just like, "All right, cool, you chill." And then that's kind of the vibe. Like he's just like, "Okay, this guy seems chill."
Him and Jeffrey were always like, they always understood each other. So I could say, okay, they're keeping the same types of relationship, just more on
it's weird though that it's serious.
Can I ask, is there a show that we watch that you can compare this to drama wise?
Please don't be 90210, please.
No, well, I mean,
13 Reasons Why.
It's an MTV type show. Like the vibe is every scene has a song every 2 seconds. Like you know how if you watch a show on MTV and the song plays, they tell you what song is playing. If you did this for this show, it would just have songs the whole time because there's just songs all the time. He's playing basketball. There's a song. He walks onto the basketball court at with the thugs. There's a song. He gets into the airplane. There's a song. He's in the car with Jazz. There's a song. He's talking to Jeffrey. Jeffrey goes upstairs. Him and Aunt Viv start walking. There's a song. And like, I don't know if people know the difference between diegetic and non-diegetic song, but diegetic and non-diegetic are like the song is coming from a source in the show or the song is background music.
Yeah.
The show makes you feel like there should be music coming from a source in the show, but they're just always playing music. So it's like, did you guys just record the show? Like, do you have a boom operator and just a radio over there? Like, it just feels like there's always music, and that's how those MTV shows were. Like, Teen Wolf and all of them. So I'm hoping that they kind of find their footing with that. You don't need to.
Okay, I get
you
it.
don't need
Teen
to
Wolf
put that in.
was pretty like dark and dramatic too. A little cheesy at times though.
Yeah,
but still not a bad show initially.
Yeah.
Okay,
Also, it just
I
makes the show
might give it a
expensive,
shot.
by the way. Like,
So you're saying it's worth watching?
I mean, I like the first episode, and as someone who grew up watching the original Fresh Prince, I would say if you watch the original Fresh Prince, watch this for yourself, at least to gain your own perspective on it. I think it's interesting.
I'm gonna have to wait on it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, wait till the season's done if you want to binge it. That way, like, if you don't like it after 2 episodes, you're like, okay, bet I can stop now. But if you watch it and you really do like it, then you can just binge through the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Carlton's energy when he met Lisa was weird, but stuff like that,
Oh, there's Lisa already?
Yeah, first episode. She comes up.
They threw Lisa in?
Yeah. Wow. Lisa's in the first episode. She walks over when Will's ordering. Like, Will's trying to find food. He doesn't like what's there. Lisa's the one that explains to him, like, oh, you can just get. Oh, no. Ashley tells him, but he orders something from the chef, like off menu. And then Lisa comes over and starts like, what are you doing? And they start talking.
Does he tell the real reason why he's there?
No. Oh, no one knows why he's there yet. Like, one of the reasons Carlton doesn't vibe with him is Carlton's just like, I don't know why you're here, and I don't like that. And he's like suspicious of Will.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, all right. Gun charge. Okay. All right.
It seems. Oh, I just.
I thought you were gonna. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you just said some shit. I was like, what?
What did you say?
Oh, he's gone. Apparently, don't talk about Bel Air. Don't ruin it.
Yes, seriously. Are you back? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What did you say when you cut off?
Oh, I don't know. The last thing I said was Hillary just. Oh no, I'm gone again.
No, you're still.
Wait, what?
No, for me, it looks like I'm gone. Everything freezes on my screen. That's why I said that. I was saying the vibe with Hillary is that she likes that Will's there because Will's like a new prop that she can add to like her social media. Like in her first interaction with Will when he's there is it's like, oh, you guys are gonna see me style him and I'll show you the pictures. I'll show you what he looks like when I come back. And then she goes back on live afterwards and she's just like, how cute is my cousin? And they all start like she's like getting likes and like comments about how cute her new cousin is. So I don't know. And at the end, the 3 kids are just like, Will's going to have to be brought into the family to be if we're going to be doing this thing with dad where he wants to be the DA, we'll throw Will on stage if we have to. But right now we're not going to make him have to go through this because it might just boring for him. But they see him as another piece that they can play is what the vibe was.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I think I was just hesitating because legacy items, man, they're easily destroyed. Like Coming to America 2 ruined Coming to America 4.
Didn't even watch it. Didn't even.
That was so sad.
Don't watch it.
I had a feeling it would, and almost like certain things I just wait on because I'm like, nah, man, too hype.
I don't hate it.
The moment it started and the quality of the filming, I was like, oh no, like it just didn't look well produced, in my opinion.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that they were just like, oh, we're waiting for the perfect script to do this. And then when they did the movie, you're like, that was the perfect script? Like, that's the thing that sucked. Like, you kept saying you're waiting, but then,
I heard Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall on Kevin Hart's Comedy Goldmines podcast.
Okay.
And Kevin asked them, like, were you, I thought a window was closed on a part 2. And Eddie was like, no, I never said I was never going to do a second one. I just felt like the way the first one ended was pretty finite. Like the way things went, the way it all went through, and he, got married. Like I thought the chapter was closed. I couldn't see what story you could tell outside of that. But then this story, it just didn't make sense to me. I was like, why? Why is this the story that you felt was the comeback?
Sometimes I think if he did it only because he had just done Dolomite and he felt like he needed to have something.
Ooh,
because it came right after.
Well received.
Right? Yes, people really like Dolomite, and then I feel that was my thing. I feel like the vibe was, oh, he did Dolomite. People like Dolomite. He needs to have something soon. strike while the iron's hot. What are the properties I have? People have been waiting for this for so long. Let's just do Coming to America, and then because like some of the people.
Sorry, I forgot. He did say that he had a plan to do Dolomite, that, and then go back into doing clubs and stand up, and then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he had a rollout. I guess he had a plan.
Yeah.
But using Coming to America as your book, I guess it also brings your name, even though you feel deep down it's shitty and not as good. It kind of brings your name back into the conversation in the mainstream, right? It did. Eddie Murphy's name for that year or two.
Oh yeah,
was just back in the public. But now because of the pandemic, he starts all over. How does he even come back into the conversation now?
I mean, I feel like he'll just
stand up. Yeah,
I feel like he'll just blame the pandemic. I feel like a lot of people are gonna blame a lot of people are gonna come and be like, the pandemic. I couldn't do anything about that.
That's true.
And then just try and roll back in. Because what are you gonna say? Oh, well, you could have done virtual shows. It's just like, I'm fucking Eddie Murphy. I'm not doing virtual shows, you know? Like,
right?
Yeah, there was what's it called? Actually, funny you said Arsenio during the podcast was like, "Hey Eddie, this is probably, I'm assuming this is like early 2021, probably the way things are going. Like things are starting to open back up." And he's like, "Eddie, I've heard there's some comedians that are actually like doing outdoor shows, like and drive-in movie theaters and parking, like I think at some point people, right?" And Eddie was like, and then he asked Eddie, he's like, "I mean, you think we could do that? Like, you want to do that together?" And Eddie was like, "Nigga, what?
Yeah,
like, what the fuck do you think?" He's like, "Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself." It was the funniest bit of the whole podcast.
Arsenio, you
went
really
full
think
like Charlie Murphy on Arsenio Hall?
Yeah, dude. I'm Eddie Murphy. You think I'm gonna do shows at a drive-in theater on a stage?
He said only to have people honk at me when I fuck.
I was just gonna say, with people honking at me on stage instead of clapping or laughing. The fuck do you think I am? I know Eddie would never. I would be mad if Eddie did it. I would have been mad if Eddie did it. I would have been like, Eddie, you need to.
Funny.
I would rather Eddie never do comedy again than his return be that.
Yeah, if the momentum got killed like that, it's fine with me. Don't need to force something. That's probably like the universe telling you it's not the time. You've done enough, right. Possibly.
And I
wonder how much you got paid for that Netflix project too, or was it Amazon?
Dolomite, Netflix, yeah.
But
Amazon. Coming to America was Amazon. And it's only Amazon because they made the movie. It was supposed to be theatrical. The pandemic hit. They sold it to Amazon. Amazon bought it.
Shit, that's so true. Yeah. That was going to be a theatrical. Oh, he's so lucky.
I know.
He lucked out, man. He got paid and he didn't have to deal with the real backlash.
Exactly. Because people would have roasted his ass.
Oh yeah,
they would have roasted his ass.
100%.
That's crazy.
Man, how does that feel? Have you ever interviewed someone, Brian, and like on the subject that they're super proud of, but you've read it or watched it and you're like, you have to lie that you liked it?
Yes.
How does that feel on the other side? Because Kevin, he was asking Kevin, like, how'd you like the movie? And Kevin was like, oh, I love it. But like deep down, I'm like, bruh, you're lying. I don't think anyone really liked this movie. But like, how does that feel on that side?
I think that when I had to do it, my mentality is I'm here to perform for the audience. Like in those moments when I'm interviewing someone and I like the stuff that they're doing, it's not a performance. I like what they've done.
It's different. The energy is different.
I'm excited when I'm talking to someone that I don't really want to talk to, or let's say I did want to talk to them, but
the material is terrible.
Yeah. Then it's more, in my experience, I try to gear the conversation more towards things that they've done that I like, as opposed to trying to discuss. And then, at the end, you have to do that whole thing of like,
sprinkle it in.
By the way, they have this current project out that you should be checking out. It's called XYZ. Make sure you go download it, blah, 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 blah.
So you try to get away from the topic at hand because you feel like your
I'm not good at
might
faking.
not last. Yeah, okay, there you go.
I'm not good at faking. I'm not good at faking.
That makes sense. I don't think I'd be able to also, like, at that point, lie for that long. And then I probably didn't watch it with enough interest to come with like good things to say about it, right? Like, oh, I like this scene when this happened, or read this part where this happened. So that's a tough.
And and I think my favorite thing in watching late night TV is if you watch a certain person, like let's say, like I was a Conan fan. If I watch all of Conan, I can tell when Conan's actually excited, and I can tell when Conan is just doing it because he has to. Like Norm Macdonald was one of those people that you could tell he liked talking to him. Polanski, what's that dude? Who's the guy that used to be on Criminal Minds and then on Homeland?
Homeland, the old guy.
Yeah, the old guy on Homeland that leaves after like a couple seasons, and he was on Criminal Minds.
Jordan.
I don't remember his name, but that guy was on
Roman
an episode.
Polanski. No, that's also
no, that's the director. No. That's the thing. Okay. I can't remember his last name. I'll look it up after. But that guy, when he's done Conan, I've seen clips, and you can tell Conan's genuinely excited to be talking to that guy. Like the vibe is like Conan is just like, this guy is crazy, and I like that he carries the conversation. I'm here just to kind of do my part, but Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I know.
But if you guys want to see like an example of Conan being into the conversation or liking the person, those are like Norm Macdonald and Mandy Patinkin are two people.
Him and Bill Burr.
Oh yeah,
Bill Burr just goes on forever with him.
Exactly.
Him and Kevin Hart also. It's weird, but they do work mesh too. It's true. Yeah, you could tell. And then we only know this because it stood out that much.
And then you know who's, but you know who's not good at it?
Who?
Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon has the same demeanor with every single person.
I don't like him.
No, I know. That's one of the reasons I don't like Fallon as a host, because his demeanor is the same for every single person. It's this facade fake. Of like, I'm always happy. And it's just like, dude, have you ever interviewed someone you just don't like? Because this so isn't weird. Better. I don't want to watch you and think that you actually like everyone. It seems weird that you like everyone.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I analyze.
I feel like that is the essence of it, huh? It really just comes across as fake.
Oh, it's super fake.
It's the same for everybody.
One of the fakest late night hosts, and that's what sucks about it. Because I feel
Jimmy
like
Kimmel, at least sometimes you can tell when he's just,
right,
a little checked out or like just wants to get through something or uncomfortable even. But yeah, you're right. Fallon, everything's a joke and everyone's funny and we're all playing games and it's a different. And Fallon is the type of person that I feel like I could put a dead log in the chair and Fallon would still be like, and tell me about your kids, because he just runs on autopilot. Was exactly what a Family Guy cutaway scene would have said.
Yeah,
it was about that time when Fallon was talking to a log, and then it would just go into the scene. that was perfect.
That's the thing. Sorry, Fallon, not to be an ass, but it sucks too because you have the best band in late night. You have the fucking Roots, but so they're sitting next to a guy, and you have Black Thought having to play the straight man to like Fallon, and I'm like, every time I'm like, oh god, that paycheck must be good because this is painful sometimes. But you go, Roots, you make as much money as possible. Y'all do the deal. I'm not gonna judge you. You're making.
I wonder how the pay is split between the crew. So you got Quest and you got Black Thought. Yeah.
And you have
I'm pretty sure they get the premium since they're like the original members and everybody else gets whatever.
Oh, true, yeah, because they have that like side brass band that wasn't originally a part.
Oh yeah, see, yeah.
But we got to get to Geek News to end it off this week.
Yes,
we got a few things, but not too many things. Geek News and Rumors.
I'll quickly chime in and say, watch Upload, but don't watch season 2. No, I'll just say,
don't watch season 2.
Watch Upload.
Yeah,
I caught the first 10. I was like, wow.
Yeah, Robbie, season 1's great.
Robbie and Mel, good job. And then season 2 is like, what?
No,
really?
It's not bad. But it's like, like it was more like it was background noise here versus season 1. I was just like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Season 2, they, shows that try to pick up and make it seem like it's exactly where they left off, but then everybody has different hair. Bad sign. That's a bad sign. When they do that,
continuity is all off.
Yeah, when they have kids and the kids are like 4 years older than the last time you saw them on screen.
So you both have seen it. Season 2 starts off with the main girl trying to escape from the car that she took off with. Yeah, but her hair is completely different. And her dad meets her halfway, and you're like, this can't be the exact same time. Your hair is way longer. What are you doing? I can't deal with that. If you can't even get continuity right, forget your show. So
Yeah.
season 2 went from 10 episodes to 7 episodes because it was filmed during a pandemic. The creator said, "Oh yeah, well, the story for this season just kind of fit better for 7 episodes." Almost like, y'all ran out of budget money. And I don't know.
And you had restrictions in the pandemic. They probably should have waited a year before even filming anything.
When you come back for 7 episodes for me to wait another year for.
Yeah.
I gotta say, when you hear those the COVID restriction costs are biting into budgets now, that's a real thing. Like a lot of productions are just like it's taking a chunk to have to pay for all these extra little things.
Precautions
it sucks too.
Lose 3 episodes, damn.
Yeah. But speaking of Amazon content, The Boys, which is a proud Amazon series, The Boys college sets spin-off series cast Chance Perdomo in prominent role. For those of you who don't know who he is, he plays the cousin on Sabrina, which was Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix. Light-skinned dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to be in a dominant role. Prominent role. Jesus Christ, fucking hell. Prominent role in the fucking series. And I'm actually looking forward to it because I like him a lot I thought he was pretty solid as an actor. So I'm looking forward to what he's going to do with it. And then what else do we have on the list?
What's it called? Ms. Marvel, the trailer.
Yes. Oh, that's true. I wanted to talk about that at the top, but then we were talking about those who've passed.
Kamala Khan. Not Kamala.
Isn't hers pronounced Kamala?
No, because there was a correction in the trailer even on how someone pronounced her name. It was like the first one.
Kamala, and she's like Kamala.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. Yeah, man. I'm a little worried, but
why?
I'll wait.
Wait, why? Why are you worried?
I'll wait. I
they weren't going to do Stretchy Arms, but Stretchy Arms is just about to come out. Let's understand that.
Exactly. I get everyone saying Mr. Fantastic is going to show up, so you're not going to do the same power set with her big.
I kind of don't mind it though. I kind of didn't mind
that's my thing, man. Yeah,
the way
her version is slightly different, so I think they could have done it. I also think that changing her power set, that her power is not something in her, but potentially bracelets that she wears. I don't like that as much.
It could be cosmic that bonds to her because they're trying to align her more with Marvel and less with Inhumans.
I know
Inhumans are trash and they're basically dead to us now. So.
I don't understand why everyone hates the Inhumans.
Not everyone hates the Inhumans. It's just you make one bad hour-long special and hey.
I mean, same page with you. I'm still disappointed in what they did, but I don't think you should cut the Inhumans out of the MCU.
They'll bring them back just in a way that we won't.
So is it that the brace? Yeah, that's interesting. Like why does she get the bracelet? Yeah, but why does she get it? And I guess that's what we're gonna get.
One of my theories that I'm hoping they don't do, but it would fit based on what Marvel seems to be doing. Her bracelets and the 10 rings from Shang-Chi. I don't know if you guys are noticing a trend.
Like, someone pointed that out. I was like, God damn it.
And then, Marvel, you can't make it that all the Asians have bracelets and rings. I mean, don't just make that how their powers are born. South Asian, East Asian, give them wrist things. That gives them powers.
No, it makes a new team called the Asians, bro. They all got bracelets, rings, and chains, dog.
Yeah.
That's their power set.
So I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping that, like Skinny, I'm hoping you're right, that the idea is that her powers are those bracelets were affected by cosmic energy. But again, I still don't like the idea of changing it, that her power that was originally in her is now something that is granted to her from something else.
It could be in her and just that the bracelet augments it.
That's what I was going with.
Okay, so then make her a mutant then. Even I don't even care if she's inhuman. I know
she could be.
That's possible.
She could be. We don't know.
Let's do it. I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm here for if they want to start making characters mutants. Just fucking do it. Why are you guys waiting?
Because keep in mind, they introduced her at the point where they were trying to push Inhumans super heavy and drown out. Yeah. So if they just do the reverse with her, where they're trying to bring in mutants and make her the more like we see it through her eyes as like not the first mutant, but the she might not even know she's a mutant yet until like down the line.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with her not knowing she's a mutant. And
is it one of those like you never needed that bracelet to for your powers, and then she takes it off and
You're a
realizes
thunder
the power
god.
is always
What do you need a
within
hammer
her.
for? Yeah,
that would be so much worse. That would be so much worse. Please.
Last episode of the series, she breaks the bracelet off. She's like,
no.
I've got the power. Yeah.
But I'm gonna watch it, just like I've watched everything else they've put out so far.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I hate it. I hate that Disney can just be like, here's another one, and I'm like, yeah, I got.
No, don't hate it, because would you rather them be like, oh crap, the Batman did good, now we got to push back everything?
No, you're right. I'm happy that Marvel is not like DC chicken shit. Marvel puts out a movie, DC's supposed to put out a movie, they're just like, oh, now we're scared, let's push ours back. It's like, bitch, you're competitors. You're not supposed to wait till your competitor is weak. You're supposed to go at the same time and try and fight them. That's the whole point. Why do you think you got a McDonald's across from a Wendy's? That's the point. You're supposed to challenge your competition, not wait. Oh, you put yours out. We'll wait and put ours out later. Get the out of here with that crap.
Also, what do you think they think is going to go down in summer 2023? Like, Marvel's just not going to release nothing? Like, what's wrong with you? It's the worst when you want to release things during the summer window of what we don't know what's coming from Marvel. Why did you do that?
I would be petrified. Because Marvel's moving so much stuff around that you're like, well, whatever they're going to come out with is going to make more money than whatever you're going to come out with.
Yeah, but the way that Marvel's working, it's so much like they put it all in the end cut scene. So it's really like, yeah, we can film this, but we really just got to move this here and take this end credit scene and put it here. That's it. Like, that's it. That's it. The story is standalone. It's the end credits scene that ties everything together. You're like, oh wow, look. So you just come on, DC. Come on.
Find the other piece of news that I saw.
I wonder if Blade was always meant to be a voiceover in the end of the Eternals, but like as certain things got figured out, they just added a voiceover to the end credit and said, you know what, this fits here.
You know what? Blade. Yeah, that's it.
Just a little. Let's sprinkle this on here so you guys can be happy.
It's true, because the movie people talked about that more than they talked about the movie itself.
Oh yeah, sadly. Sorry, Eternals. No one really cares.
Oh shit!
I didn't mind it, but yeah.
I didn't mind it either, but
I like it's a very, very, very almost too deep a cut for everybody.
Right.
It's incredibly deep.
And then someone else, I saw something saying like, oh, it was supposed to come out right after Endgame, so you're supposed to get like it was supposed to be like a palate cleanser after all the excitement of Endgame, like, and it's supposed to explain a little bit about Thanos and motivations, and you start to get a better understanding. But because it came out so much later, it kind of hindered things. And I was just like, oh, well.
If this was the first move out, I would have been a little bit more pissed. If Eternals dropped and we didn't get WandaVision, I would have been like, bro, y'all need to chill. What? Exactly.
No. How did we go from Endgame to this kind of situation?
Yeah.
The palate cleanser of having the TV shows after Endgame was probably the best case scenario for them.
These little 6-hour movies that they've been pulling off.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yes. And then Sydney Sweeney, who everyone's obsessed with from Euphoria, to co-star opposite Dakota Johnson in Sony's Marvel picks Madam Web.
So she's black. She's Black Cat.
You think she's gonna be Black Cat?
No,
300%.
Didn't they already cast Black Cat?
No, that was that Sony Black Cat and Silver Sable. That ain't
300%. That's a big move.
Yeah. She's gonna be Black Cat, or she's either gonna be Black Cat or she's gonna be Anya, which is like the Spider Woman that took over for not Jessica Drew, the next one there, Julia Carpenter, who is Madam Web. Who trained Anya too. So it's either going to be one of them.
But isn't Anya Hispanic?
Yes.
I don't know. It
don't need to make sense.
I agree with you. I'm just saying you're gonna get, dude. You see how pissed people get with Disney for every little thing they do?
Yeah, America Chavez is there. They can show.
Wait, so what story of Madam Web are we seeing? Like her in her early years because it's Dakota Johnson?
I'm hoping that it's going to be Julia Carpenter.
Julia Carpenter.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be Julia Carpenter. It
can't be Madam Web as we know her in the comic.
But Julia Carpenter is Madam Web. She's in her like 20s, 30s. She's like adult.
Yeah,
So
okay, yeah, that's fine because there's no chair. We're not going to see a chair or anything because that's like her life support system,
dude,
right?
If they do a fucking Professor X Madam Web type shit, like in a chair with webs connecting her in the middle, we are all walking out of that theater.
Why are they doing Madam Web? That's what I want to know. Why are we doing Madam Web?
Because Sony's trying to figure out how to connect their Spider-Verses.
You done connected it. Leave it alone. Just leave it. Leave
They
it.
want to make it solid so that they don't want to rely on Disney, man. They don't want to rely on Disney.
They're stupid.
They
Just let them do it. They're literally doing it for you.
They're pulling the strings to try and separate themselves from every chance. Any chance they get, they're going to do it.
Sony, look how many characters and things they're pulling into Craven just to use them. It's just weird, strange.
I honestly, I just want to see what they do with Morbius, just to judge them. I'll judge you off of Morbius.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know he's right.
Venom.
I didn't see Venom 2. I won't get like that one. They let what's his name? They let Schmeagol take that. They were like, hey, you do your thing. We don't know. We just need Carnage to get out there. Go ahead and do your thing. And he was like, all right, cool. It may not make sense, but you got your Carnage. They're like, okay, thank you. Thank you, CGI God. Cool. And then motion capture God, thank you. And then with Morbius. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Circus. And then I don't know, with Morbius. This is the really like the Sony outing on their own. Big. Let's go. I want to see that.
I see what you're saying. It is Spider-Man affiliated, but it's not a character that, like, I could see this character being created without Spider-Man. Venom without Spider-Man bothers me because we know the story of Venom. Carnage without Spider-Man, without Venom bothers me because, but Morbius, who's just a dude who decides to fuck around with some vampire DNA, turns his ass into a vampire. Fuck around with bat DNA, turns his ass into a vampire. You don't need Spider-Man for that. That's any old fucking hero that can fight that dude.
I guess you're right. I guess.
So
if Blade shows up at the end of that,
then that means they're not trying to pull away from Disney.
Yeah.
Then.
You know what? You're right. Okay, that's going to be telling. Because if they don't explain how Vulture is in it, because that's also
how do you explain that? The latest trailer was a lot of Vulture.
Yes.
It was like a conversation.
And it almost
none of that's in the movie.
Okay, thank you.
Guaranteed. None of that's in the movie.
Sony. No, bro. No, I don't. Sony's not Disney.
I get what you're saying, Toby, but I 100% am hoping that Skinny and I are right, because that was exactly my thought. Y'all are fucking with us. You're fucking with us, and it's not okay.
That's what you expect, but they're like this middle child between Marvel and DC when it comes to this stuff. And I'm telling you right now, everything you're seeing is exactly how you're gonna get it. Same thing, the reason why we didn't get everything in the Disney trailer for the Spider-Man movie was because Disney was like, bro, you got to keep something a secret.
Yeah.
Right? Because Sony just wants to put it all out there, man.
Skinny, when you said it, I was on the same exact vibe.
You're hopeful. You're hopeful.
For something so big like that, why would you just put it in the first trailer? To get people talking, sure, right before No Way Home, because you were supposed to drop before No Way Home, but now that No Way Home's out, and then you're like, oh shit, Doctor Strange comes out later this month. Wait, where does this actually take place? Cut it off.
Yeah, there you go.
Cut it. Just throw Blade at the end to just make people happy. Are you sure you ready for that, Mr. Morbius? Wait.
Boys, that's the whole show. That's the whole show.
Sir.
We had a blast. Another wonderful edition. A lot of laughs. I mean, I was going to say some sadness, but even the sadness at the beginning, we had laughs with it because, like we said, we're honoring those who passed, and we appreciate the things they've done in the past for us and how they help educate us. So to those who have recently moved on or shuffled off this mortal coil, as some people like to say, we thank them for what they've offered us. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We had a lot of fun. The titles are going to be wild. There's so many. Long enough to dance upon the grave. Don't worry, we'll all live to 100. The slight. What was the other one? Have you not faced your own mortality? There's some options. So we might post this up on the IG and ask you guys what you think and if you want to potentially vote. So don't forget to follow us, like, subscribe, watch the show on YouTube, watch the show on Geektastic Cypher on Twitch/Geektastic Cypher, and don't forget episodes of That Canon every second Saturday, 11 a.m. You guys can listen to them live if you want to, or you can listen to them whenever afterwards. Those are all actually out. We're just replaying them so that you guys can have a chance to just have something to do on a Saturday. And to the people who have been tuning in, because every time it airs, I see on my phone because I have the Twitch connected, and I can see like some people are like writing messages, and I'm always like, oh shit, sorry, like I didn't think to like be live. So, you know, Skinny, you got a shout out one time, even though you weren't on the show, but I think people just know it's Geektastic Cypher's stream, so they're just like, what up? So shout outs to those people who've been tuning in. We appreciate y'all checking out the show. But that's it. That's the whole show. We out. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Doses.
Yeah.